As you can see, we are still working on our Yerf Dog spider box. As you saw in our last video, our sprocket came in and we assembled the axle. We now have the axle bolted back into the swing arm. And we're going to determine, now we're trying to determine where exactly to weld some steel into the swing arm in order to weld the engine plate to the steel to locate our engine to make sure that it is dead in line with the sprocket. Because if it's not, if you're not aligned properly and you're skewed at all, you're going to have problems with that chain popping off. So what I've done here is I've got it sitting up on these jack stands and a piece of wood up here to get it up off the table, because the sprockets and the brake rotor, you can't sit it on the table. So I've got it elevated. I've got the engine plate mounted to the engine, and I've got a piece of wood right now that is the same thickness as the engine plate, and I've got it sitting on there, and I've got it, I set it on here, I've got it to where it's close.
I do my own thing, I do my own thing. I go my own way, don't care what you say. I do my own thing, I do my own thing. I go my own way, don't care what you say. I do my own thing, I do my own thing.
Okay, so I got the engine back off the swing arm, and my marks are very visible. They came out good. I think what I might do is take a square. This is a sheetrock square I use when I'm building furniture and cabinets. We're going to put that on here, I think. Boy, we don't have much room with this piece in here, I'll tell you that. I'm going to have to slide this back to have the room to do this. Okay. I'm going to set this on here to the back. And I'm going to line it up with my mark back here. And I'm going to see if that translates to up here. I should be close. I mean, I'm not expecting perfection here, but I should be pretty close. And it would appear that I am. That's pretty close. Check it back the other way as well. Yeah, now I don't have enough room back there. Oh well. Alright, so I'm square on the frame here. That looks really good, guys. I'm going to slide this table out a little bit again this way so that I can get a better look at this. Guys, that appears to be dead on. See, I welded this piece in here. Squaring up from back here to here it was close, but it was off a little bit. But I welded that one in there myself, so it's obviously not perfect. This one is factory, okay, and at the factory these are usually set up and welded together in a jig. So this is from the factory. More than likely, this is pretty darn square. And going off of here, right up against that frame right there, it's dead on. I mean, it's dead on. It really looks good. I'll flip this over this way so I can get that on there a little better. Yeah, guys, it's good. That's really good right there. Really, really good. So now, I got some more angle iron. And we're going to do this the same way that we welded this one in here. Well, if I knew I was going to have to put these pieces in there, I'd put that piece in the other way. That would have gave me a little more something to weld to down the back side of it, but it's on the other side now. So but yeah, we're just gonna take a notch out of this to where it'll sit down on top of that, and here, and we'll weld that up, and then we'll take our engine plate off of the motor and yeah, get it welded on there. So, yeah, let's do it. Okay, we have our pieces cut. I think what I'm going to do, like I said, if I had known I was going to have to put these in here, I would have had that, I would have welded that in there the other way around and it would have worked out a little bit better. But since how it's already in there and the way it is, we're going to cut out a notch right here. Right here. We're going to cut that out so that it sets down so that the piece of metal is on top of this bar here. And I'll be able to weld across the top and the back, and then the other piece, because it's notched out, I'll be able to weld on the front and back side down here as well for some really good strength. Now over here, if I cut that out, then the only thing I'm going to be able to weld to is on top, and that's really taking a chance. That's not very strong. So I think what I'm going to do, because of the way that angle iron is in here, I think I'm just going to cut a notch right here, out of here, so that this can slide over that piece of angle iron. Then I'll be able to weld down below, front and back, and up on top as well for some good strength. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, I have my pieces cut and shaped the way I need them to sit on the rails. I've got them set in here and the motor up on here as well. And I took my square, I took measurements and my square and made sure that everything was perfectly parallel and square with the sprocket on the axle. So now that those are sitting exactly where I need to, I have fine-tuned the hell out of these things. So I'm going to get the welder out and I'm going to tack these, and then we'll pull the motor off and we'll finish welding them up. Now we're going to fire up the welder again and go ahead and finish welding all this in. I am going to go ahead and grind all of this weld that I just put on here while it's facing this way up. Then we'll flip it over and drop the axle back out of it and do a little welding and grinding on the other side. And then of course we still have to weld in the engine plate as well. So let's get this ground down.